Alright, welcome to Au Naturel 3.0. Little intro video. I figure I've done this for the original Au Naturel. I like the pattern, I might as well keep it up. So I'm going to go for a lovely walk and explain the entirety of this mod pack, as I generally do in all of them, just to get a feel for the world. So what is Au Naturel 3.0? It's now mid-March. Working on this thing for 9 or 10 months, depending on how you count for it. Au Naturel is nothing short of a world survival sim. The natural world. It makes a lot of changes to Minecraft. It's not a completely reliable reflection of the natural world, but it definitely gets pretty close in terms of Minecraft gameplay. Now, yeah, in doing so, we've removed and changed a huge lot, so there's no more creepers, no villagers, no dimensions, no monsters, no enchanting, no XP. You can hear some of the lovely sound work here from our friend the bison there. Yeah, no enchanting, no XP, no magic. None of those sort of fantastical elements. This is all about surviving and living in a natural world. Oh. Alright, so... yeah, there's no quests, no goals, no awards, no recipes. I mean, obviously there's recipes for crafting and things like that. But I've taken off a lot of sort of those things from classical gaming and left you with what is genuinely an open world. The goal in all of this is to turn, I guess, Minecraft back into something closer to my vision. Now, I've got a second project which I won't cover in this video as well, but basically, I started playing Minecraft a long time ago. I'll get into this in a second. I want to make Minecraft harder, slow it down, make it more balanced, get people to think about creating and getting out there and worrying about surviving the night and trying to find things and exploring and all of the things that happened in early Minecraft before various changes with villagers and elytras and a whole bunch of things made you just be able to sleep through the night, get survival gear immediately, not really be scared of anything anymore. Yeah, but in saying that it makes it harder and slower, it's also highly opinionated in that hard things should be hard, but grindy things should be no more grindy than necessary. In fact, depending on your point of view, you might say I'm anti-grind and anti-micro stuff. I want every actual task that you try to undertake to not be fighting with the interface, not be fighting with the mechanics. So while I have made the game harder, I've also paradoxically made it a lot easier, because there's so many more convenient and creative ways to do things that didn't exist in basic Minecraft. There's approximately 375 mods in this mod pack now. That's probably the number that version 3.0 is going to come out with. And there's been a heavy lot of work on optimization to get this thing running smoothly. Now, that doesn't mean that you, let me be thingy. The expectation is that the server, the one doing the calculations and the likes, is going to require a relatively modern CPU. There's no getting around that. But I've been doing my best to try to make this thing run well. There are ways that you can play if you do not have the most powerful computer, but I will be honest and say that if you have a super old laptop CPU, apologies, but you're not going to be able to host single player yourself. The world's too involved for that. Okay, so I'm going to go all the way back and start with the story of how we got here. You can see this in one of my other videos, but I figure I might as well tell it now. Um, my son recently, depending on when you start this whole story, turned 5 or 6, and introduced him to Minecraft. And I hadn't played Minecraft for many, many years, so I came back to this whole environment and found everything fundamentally changed. All sorts of things that I didn't even realize were in there. I think, yeah, things like the end, the nether. I mean, the nether was around when I was playing, but um, just generally finding people online playing differently. Adding villagers, beds, no longer having to sort of really try to be afraid during the night or go out and explore things, and people could rush through the game in an extremely short amount of time. Um, which, you know, is fun as a challenge, but I felt missed the magic of early Minecraft. So getting him back into it and getting it into it as well. In addition, I'd found that modding had moved on immensely since my day. Uh, but then, you know, as I started to look at the mods that were available and things like that, I began to wonder, and I began to think and to see this vision for a sort of a Minecraft that I sort of remembered from my youth, that even though it obviously never existed. Yeah, hello there. But now, finally, with all the shaders, and it has to be said now, Distant Horizons due out any day now, I believe, with that production release, and having tested it a lot and I think it's finally ready for prime time, I've finally got all of the pieces here that are capable of bringing together this sort of world sim vision that I've got in my head for how I'd really like to play Minecraft. And so that's how everything got started. And we started out, oh hello buddy, got started out on version 1.19.2 way back in the day, on version 1. It had a release just as sort of a proof of concept. Migrated the whole thing over to 1.20.1 as the options and things, made some various design changes, released some versions, but never really got the full scope of everything done. Hadn't rebalanced all the recipes, hadn't got all the mechanics working. Heaps of bugs, still sort of suboptimal models and things for a lot of things. Still looking out for various mods to do various things. And now, well, I don't know how many months later, it feels like it's 4 or 5 or 6. Now, 6 months later, finally looking to release Au Naturel 3.0. Still on 1.20.1, but with many, many, many updates from the 2.0 and 2.x versions. With the release of 3.0 helping to line up with, well, as you might be able to see if I can go, we're running on an early release Java 24 version here. We've got Distant Horizon, they're due to go out into a stable release, I believe, within the next week or two. Running, again, complementary and Euphoria patches. Also thinking of including photon shaders as a secondary possible source, but I think the custom complementary and Euphoria patches here are doing a marvelous job, and will probably continue to be the primary one with photon, you know, nice little sort of experimental branch off to the side. And as you can no doubt hear and have experienced through this whole little walk through the park, we've got beautiful immersive sound work still doing all of its stuff in the background. Lots of updates since the 2.x series, and things are looking really good. Alright, so, you can see just back there, we've got now the 3D stick models. I can't remember if they came out in the 2.7 or whatever it was version or not, but yeah, things are looking good. Alright, what does Au Naturel contain? Whee! For people who aren't familiar with it. Well, let's start on some of the other differences and things like that. We've got start off with the no tree punching mod. So early game settles around non-wood flint obtained from gravel. You need to collect flint, knack it in some stone or something hard. And on that note, in Au Naturel 3.0, practically every block now has various qualities about what you can and you can't break them with. So when you start out, you're very limited in what you can do. Dig some dirt, break some sticks, dig up some gravel, nap some flint. You will not be able to attack trees. I mean, you can attack trees, you're not going to get very far. Even certain tough bits of grass you can have trouble with your bare hands. Stone and things are right out, so don't fall down any holes early, because you're not going to be able to dig your way out by scratching with your fingernails or anything like that. So all sorts of blocks now are tagged with whether you can break them with an axe, whether you can break them with a pickaxe, whether you have to use a shovel, whether you have to use a hoe, what's breakable with your hand, whether it will drop, etc., etc. And all of these things from the get-go. So you've really got to sort of struggle on that first night and try to figure out how you're going to get your things fast enough to survive. We've still got temperature in here from the cold sweat mod. It's going nice. I don't think there's too much to add about that, or maybe there's lots of other things. There are some extra changes and things that have come from that. Extra changes that have come from the cold sweat mod. Various recipe changes. Coming up later, we've fixed a bug from an earlier one about insulation, garments and things like that, and we've also added some integrated specialist clothing and the like for winter and summer conditions, both to help you with the hot and the cold. As per Au Naturel 1 and 2, we've got early seasons change the weather and things. Integrated seasonal growth and crops. Relatively simple. I've just gone through and done a sort of general sweep. So general theme of the thing is try to get things together before winter, because by the time that comes around, not much is going to be... What the hell was that? I don't know. Not much is going to be growing unless you've got stuff figured out. That being said, I've been finding in playtesting that it can be sometimes a bit of a struggle to make it through summer too, depending on the biome that you're in. The heat can get pretty bad. So yeah, seasons. What else? Food needs to be cooked. Food spoils, so you can't just sort of slaughter a pig and then watch the blood drip down your face as you feast on the goo within. That's going to make you very, very ill. So don't do that. Cook your food and things before everything. Obviously, thirst is still a mechanic in here, and with thirst as a mechanic in here, also goes to say that you have to, what's the word? Sanitize your food, sanitize your water. Make sure that it's properly boiled and safe to drink. Because otherwise you're going to be very sick from drinking bad water too. Oh, this is quite a sizable forest here. Alright. Yeah. What else? Oh, okay, some removals from 2.0. We've removed the pollution mechanic. A lot of playtesting. I'm sort of sad to see it go, but also not sad, because look, a lot of the playtesting just, in my opinion, revealed that it wasn't very fun. What you had there, it's nice in idea, but when you've got pollution and it sort of restrains some of the designs you can have with your homes, and it can be very, look at that. It can be very, very restrictive, and it's also very frustrating to have these sorts of gases and things having an effect on you, and you can't really see them. You can sort of intuit that they're there, but it's quite a sort of fun sapping environment. So smoke, pollution, sulfur, carbon, etc. They're out, and you can now have light and fires and things indoors. With, I won't say no. Oh well, it's the consequences are very diminished. You've mainly got to worry about, what do you have to worry about? You've got to worry about, temperature, primarily. Having too much heat in an enclosed space. So they're out for now. Now, dynamic trees have been removed. That one I'm a much more, I don't want to say regretful about. It was a very tough decision to have to remove the dynamic trees and move back to the basic block models of Minecraft. But I gotta say, you know, for basic block models, this whole thing is looking pretty schmick, if I might say so. It is not given that dynamic trees will stay out entirely. I will raise the possibility of them coming back in if we can keep it performative, if it makes for good gameplay, and if all of the trees can be encompassed. One of the things that I disliked in playtesting was the idea of having two tree dynamics in this game, be it the other tree chopping mechanic and the tree chopping mechanic supported by dynamic trees. So dynamic trees is out for now. I know that there are packs working on regions unexplored dynamic trees. When that's done, theoretically we can try and bring them back in and we'll see how it goes. But if it's still no fun gameplay wise, there's reasons to believe that it might not be, they're going to go the way of the dodo too. On trees, while we're here, we've still got the supplanting mod, so saplings and the like, when you chop down trees, will plant themselves in the ground if ignored. You don't have to manually do too much of that. When is it going to come daytime? It's very dark. Don't have to do too much of that. Cheers. They will plant themselves if you just leave them. Of course, you can still pick up saplings and do what you will with them. That's no problem. You can still create a nice little lovely night sky view. What's the word? Not new moon, not full moon. I think somewhere half in between. Night light adjusts with the complementary shaders to the lunar cycle. That's always nice. What else do we have here? Yeah, so supplanting. The HT tree chop mod is now the universal tree chopping system. So you do need an axe and the like to get that to work. You can't just punch trees. It's just... yeah, sort of lost. Oh well. Hey. Yeah, HT tree chop mechanic is now the universal system. So you can still chop down the entire tree by hacking at its base, but you have to have things proportionate to the size of the tree. So don't get started trying to think you're going to go out there with your flint axe chopping down a redwood or something like that. You want to focus on something small to medium, because you're not going to have a fun time. Yeah. Alright, just as a side note, had to remove the gender mod due to incompatibilities. Interesting bugs there, but it's gone for now, and at this point in time I'm not looking at bringing it back until those compatibilities are fixed, which, as far as I know, it's not going to happen, but you never know. Oh, look at that. Complementary shaders has cool lava. I don't know if you can really see it to its full glory here. Where was I? Yeah, as with Au Naturel, I don't know if it did. I can't remember if I fully went into it in 2 point whatever it is, but oh, just while we're here, you might have seen the sort of dynamic light things, because I've got a lantern attached to my belt due to another one of the mods that we've added in and gotten working in the meantime. So, you know, I can see a little bit around me. Dynamic lights following me a little bit everywhere. It's a lot darker. I mean, not so much in this forest because we've got a lot of these bioluminescent fungi and the like at the moment. But I do have a light source on my belt, and that's possibly something that you can see. making it a little less dark for YouTube videos. Oh, and I think, speak of the devil, it looks like the sky might be clearing and I'm lost in a deep dark forest. Oh, we'll see how we go. Where are we? Oh yeah. So we've got a huge amount of work on making all of the spawns and things match the ecosystems that they're found in. So hopefully all of the animals spawn in appropriate locations, spawn at appropriate rates. Generally, the herbivores will spawn at a higher rate to the carnivores. Interesting. Sounds like the sun is coming up. I'm so deep that we're missing out on those crepuscular rays or whatnot that complementary does so well. Oh well, so it goes. Other changes. Falling into shallow water does damage, unlike regular Minecraft. Also implemented huge work on one of my pet bugbears, the underwater mining fix, where people would just sort of swim underwater and grab doors and try to mine because of the behaviour in Java Minecraft, where it would form permanent air pockets around certain non-waterloggable items. So, yeah, sorted that out and gotten rid of it. No lava buckets either, so deal with it. Can't pick up lava in a bucket. What else is there? Sleeping overhaul is still in here. I've mentioned some planting already. We've got the corpse mod. So your body remains wherever it is that you die, and you can go back, and if you can find it, you'll be able to find. Man, this forest is thick. Worth pointing out that the biomes are much more expansive, much more realistic in size. You can walk for a long time in some of these forests, and this is a big forest even by this mod's standards, I have to say. Oh look, there's a bear. Take advantage of being uncreative and actually approach some of them. Oh, so yeah, the biomes and the biome size of the mixes are tailored to be much more conducive to more larger biomes, more, I would say, realistic biome sizes. You can get lost in forests. Forests can stretch onto the horizon. It can be dark in forests, it can be dangerous in forests. And of course, there are about, I think, last count, roughly 400 biomes, so every play is going to be materially different. Not every play is going to be, well, I won't say possible. You can be very creative in Au Naturel, but depending on where you spawn and where you start and what sort of biome set or landscape you've landed in, you can be in almost anything from desert to tropics to rainy to dry to forests to grasslands to prairies to flower fields to icelands to tundras to taigras to Arctic conditions. Now, all of those have a different difficulty curve, so I would advise anyone, once they get their hands on this thing, to, you know, start easy before trying to do the challenge of some of those things. If you spawn in the Arctic, you are going to have a very tough time and probably die. You have to get very, very creative to try to start in the Arctic sort of environs with no materials, no protection and no equipment. And good luck with that. Are we ever going to find our way out of this forest? Anyway. What else? Yeah, sleeping overhauls for planting, corpse. Oh, yep, so when you die, you can go back to find your body, it'll still be there. Be able to pick it up, pick up all of your stuff if you can get to it in time. Just because there's no monsters doesn't mean there's no danger. In fact, Au Naturel has this really fun/annoying habit of lulling you into a complete false sense of security, and then you die really quickly. Remember, because we've got armor weight and things like that, you don't always want to head out head to toe in iron armor gear. At least not until you've researched it. Hey, we're coming out. Where are we? Where are we? So yeah, 3D models come in for a lot of things, fixed up of various models and textures and stuff while standardizing and fixing various items. So I'm very happy about that. I won't say no more 2D models, but most things should be. Where the hell am I? I have no idea. I'll keep wondering. Most things should be greatly improved. Let's see here. What else? Other sort of new improvements have changed in the 3.0 version. We have many recipe changes, to put it mildly. Items being obliterated, other items being other items being sort of replaced, changes. You should be able to craft all items that you need without visiting the Nether or other dimensions, because they don't exist in this game. You can't get to them. I am totally lost. Ah, yes. Okay, so recipe changes. Food and drink values have been consciously updated, so all the items give a certain amount. You can now overeat, thanks to one of the other mods. Fill yourself up before when you're not hungry. Give you a bit of a sort of a buffer, which is just as well, because you get hurt a lot more with light armor and things. Ooh. Light armor and things. Yeah, clothing from Lucky's Wardrobe mod has been added and edited. To make some suitable changes, suitable attire that you can craft in various environments, make you more likely to survive in the hot and the cold. You can survive in the Arctic, just for the record. Everything that you need to survive in the Arctic is in Au Naturel. It's just that generally you'll want to make a nice environment and make sure that you're properly attired before scaling any mountains, or heading down into caves, or heading out into deserts, depending on where you've started and whether you really have a choice. The clothing from Lucky's wardrobe will ensure that you'll survive in such biomes and environs. Oh, we've added wall jump. That's an interesting one. As I said, it's like we want to make things harder, but also want to make things a bit easier and more convenient. So you can now sort of like, whoa, and what? Ah, didn't do that right, did I? There we go. Little wall jump thing. So we can let's see if we can find something like 2 blocks high, so I can try and get up on top of it. Something obvious. Yeah, here, why don't we try this lovely guy here? Yep, there we go. See? A little bit of sort of mini parkour. You can also vault over fences and the things and the like. So that's nice, but fences and things will still hold you. Hello, bear. Do that in survival. So yeah, wall jump. You've got a little bit of extra movement, which is just as well, because another change involves block runner. Now, in old Au Naturel, I think we already had these dynamic footsteps, so you can hear your footsteps changing based upon the material that you're walking on. Well, for better and for worse, it also happens that how fast you can walk on materials is also dynamic. So light snow and things like that will slow you down a bit. Grass will be neutral. Sands and heavy snow are going to make you walk very, very slowly. It's going to be very hard to move on those. Mud is going to slow you down completely. Other things, generally human-crafted things like the wooden planks and various stone blocks and paths and pavings, will speed you up. That's nice. I reckon we're going to game for mountain range over there. Yeah, so block runner. Most, if not all, of the surfaces have been changed. So the speed that you can go on the various kinds of blocks is dynamic. It depends upon the surface that you're walking on. Yeah. Ah, there you see the stone changes and you get gravel. There we go. Beautiful. Yeah. Alright. Integrated anvils and repairs and things at last. So because we removed XP from the entire game, things like enchanting and like anvils and anything that sort of required you to use XP to do anything are now completely gone. So anvils are still in here and you can repair your things, but you don't need XP to do it, which is lovely. But it also means that this mod pack isn't sort of designed around XP farming. You don't get any sort of inherent benefits from killing animals or defending yourself except for the materials that they drop. And what you can then craft with them. So there's your incentive to sort of go and explore and protect yourself. Underground is still kind of terrifying. Even though there's no monsters. The spiders are nasty. Ah, yes, and we've got these hornet things, which can also be nasty too. Oh boy. So here you can see as we get this deeper snow, the speed with which you can traverse it is significantly slower than open terrain. What else do we have? Yeah, the new research mechanic. Well, we got rid of enchanting, right? So we need a new mechanic for researching. Now, the mechanic that I've chosen with the research table, much like the crafting table, a new crafting table that can be crafted up from diorite, polished diorite and deep slate and some other sort of ingredients. Oof. Man, if I'm glad I'm not on survival, this would be freezing up here. Polished diorite is research mechanic. So you need emeralds and you need lapis lazuli once you have a research table. And then which books you want to study and which books you want to craft are just a matter of finding the right ingredients and combining them with the right recipes on the research table. So no more random selection. You choose which one, but you do actually have to have the resources and the crafting. And there's a little thing called a science gem which you can craft from what can you craft it with? Emeralds, which you'll find in high mountains and stone environments, and lapis lazuli. Every research recipe requires some of those science gems on the research table, so you can choose what it is. What is up here? Choose what it is that you want to research. Must be some sort of bear somewhere around here. Oh, it's heading down there. Yeah. You can choose what you think, and you can take enchantments off various items with books, and I can't remember if it's the grinder or the anvil. But either way, you can remove enchantments from items, you can put enchantments on items, you choose which enchantments you pursue and which ones you don't. Okay, let's see. Explosion physics, so blocks move. Let's see here. Well, why not? Let's get some TNT. Minecart TNT. What's the other thing you need? You need flint steel, don't you? Let's hope this works. Let's maybe save it until we get somewhere a bit more explosive blocks. yeah, so we've got explosion physics and different explosion graphics and the like. So I'll show you once we get somewhere that's less covered in this sort of hard, dense snow and rock. Maybe need some dirt. Yeah. I've got immersive aircraft, so over time you can craft up aircraft and fly around this world as well. Obviously you'll have to find enough materials to actually make a go of it. Yeah. What other? We're getting onto the sort of end of this little exploratory journey now. I've made another few additions, sort of going above and beyond the contents of Au Naturel 2.x. As you may or may not have noticed in the last week, Create 6.0 has come out, and guess what? We've got it in here, and as of this morning, it's working. So stoked about that. I've also got Snow, Real Magic mod. For extra immersion in snow blocks. Snow blocks can sort of fall on grass, can cover fences, cover other things. Yeah, makes snowfall just much more believable and immersive. What else? Framed blocks for you creative building people. And the likes. You framed people can now sort of combine just about everything. We've got various stone and wood compatibility things in here. We've introduced the supplementaries mod. We've got the accurate block placement. I can't remember if we had that in the last one. Ah yes, a bunch of new particles, subtle effects, and things throughout the game. Wakes mod has been introduced and updated. Aren't you a happy little chappy? Another spider. Wakes mod has been introduced. Sophisticated storage I think we've brought in, and chisel and bits. So with chisel and bits and create and framed blocks, you're really, you've got sort of a creative open slather. Jeez. Open slather, to put it politely. You can, on survival, customize your buildings to your heart's content, provided, of course, that you have. Yeah, here's the fun biome. Provided that you have all the materials in the immediate environment available to you. Oh, this is slow going through these thick grasses. Yeah. Whew. Yeah. So, I think, are we at the other shore? I think that's about it. Hoping to release this in the next, what is it, today's like March 10th? What? Hoping to release this within the next month. This is of course the latest dev version. Don't think I mentioned the various size changes. I think we had that in earlier versions. Various mobs can change their size and dimension. Not change their size and dimensions, but you know, they're not the same size and dimensions as they were in the original Minecraft. Yeah. Aiming for a March Easter release date. Distant Horizons integrations, hopefully performant on relatively modern computers, and definitely be looking to put out some server versions to enable multiplayer, which if you want to play with people with lower powered computers, you are definitely going to need, because the world itself, even optimized, it's pretty heavy in terms of sort of I guess the resource requirements for when Minecraft was originally developed. But if I might say so, considering all that it does, I think it looks bloody fantastic. Can't complain too much at all. One little thing before I go. While developing Au Naturel 3.0, last thing is that I have forked the project a few months ago. Forked it out once we got the world sim acting relatively stable and in line with my vision, and Oh, maybe we can stop with a nice little sunrise. Is that where the sunrise is going to come? Might be here and watch the sunrise rise over the water. So yeah. Yeah. Au Naturel 3.0. Ready imminently. The other fork project from Au Naturel I am calling Preternatural. And it returns some of Minecraft's roots back on top of this world sim. So we introduce monsters, we introduce dimensions, we introduce magic, and we introduce exploring and villages and structures and things back into the world. So it's not just this open-ended natural world, it's an open-ended natural world with fantasy elements and all of the fun things that Minecraft does for those of you who need a little bit more of a sort of a narrative strength, but still playing to every strength of Au Naturel, and still built upon this world sim that's yeah, taken, 9, 10, 11 months depending on when you start accounting for it. Yeah, and I gotta say, everything is looking up and just wrapping up some of the last recipes and compatibilities. And operating on Java 24. Looking pretty good. Alrighty. Let's go down. And this next to the water. Maybe we'll go for a swim. Hey, look, whale watching. Ooh, shark watching. Yeah, I don't want none of that. Alright, and with that, I bid you adieu.